This is an Ellis Mowers and More small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's small engine repair, we're going to look at two very different chainsaws with actually the same issue on them. I've got one right here. It's going to be on your left, this Craftsman 18-inch 42cc, just a pull-in, pull-on, however you want to call it, in Craftsman guise, so to speak. Bad ignition coil. Same thing with this. This is a Homelite Super XL. Super nice chainsaw. The old Homelites are great machines, and just got a bad ignition coil as well. At least that's all I think it's got. I did pull the plug. No spark on either of them. I have also tested the ignition coils already, which I'll kind of show you a comparison whenever we get the ignition coils off of these. But we'll go ahead and start with the Craftsman here. Save the Homelite for last, and hopefully that's the only thing I've got to do to these things is fix the ignition coil on them, so we can get them back out to their owners. Y'all know these things can be a little frustrating sometimes getting right. This one appears doesn't look like it's been used very much. It also doesn't appear like it's terribly old. And then obviously this one is pretty old, but y'all know these things run like forever. So let's go ahead and get started. Start with the Craftsman first. We'll get it broke open and get this ignition coil replaced. So both of these are actually relatively easy jobs to do for the most part. The top part of this comes off. You just need to get something that can fit down in there. They are T25s all around. You're going to do the same thing over here with these. And there's is there four of them or three of them holding it on here? Four of them, right. There's the fourth. And then what that does is it actually exposes everything you need it to expose. So that's really good. There's a clip that holds this one on. You just have to pull this clip out. You may have to get a screwdriver. I've already had this one out once. So I disconnected this ground wire just to make sure that it was not that was causing the issues. And that ground wire is going to go back over here on this ignition coil terminal. I'll double check to make sure of that. But all this does, you're going to unplug this yellow wire. I unplugged everything just to make sure that there was zero doubt that it wasn't a bad kill switch or anything like that before I ordered the ignition coil, just because of how easy these are to get to. But you pull that coil wire back, and this coil wire does feel a little rubbery, so there's two T25s that hold this on, and then, you know, within 2 minutes you've got this ignition coil off. Now, this is how you can tell if the ignition coil is bad, or likely tell, as long as you have a good multimeter here. So I'll show you all this. So this ignition coil I have on the ohm setting on the multimeter here. This is the bad one, remember. So we can put the ground on this side, put the positive on this side, and so it's reading at about 1.2 ohms, if you can see that, right? Now you ideally want to see it higher than about, or closer to about 3 or higher. Obviously it's not doing that, so it's not providing enough resistance to spark. If we look at this one, do the same thing here. You see we're pushing 5 ohms. So the ignition coil, for some reason, just went bad. happens. So to put it all back on, it's really not that difficult to do. This is going to be I believe this is going to be your cylinder side, isn't it? Because your wire comes back through there, and then you want to have like some sort of gap card or something along those lines. Feeler gauge works as well. I don't know how well I can show it to y'all because of that handle, but we'll go ahead and get the these screws back in. It looks like the same screws as the this is just screwing into plastic. So it's the same screws as the side cover. So nothing crazy. I'm just going to get these started. This was a little tricky because you're coming at it from the side, but then we'll get this one in. Slack that up a little bit so that we can get it. We'll just put that over here for now so we can get this screw in. Got to be careful. You don't want to cross thread these or anything like that. So just get them screwed in. Feeler gauge on the 10 mils or 10,000, excuse me. It's actually not too bad. We'll push it in a little bit on this side though. That's about where it needs to be, so that's good. Alright, we've got that screwed in now. This wire will lock in right here. I'll pull it out just a tiny, tiny bit. Because you know these manufacturers can't exactly duplicate what the OEMs do for the aftermarket. So, what they've also done, let's see, they've put new. May have to change the end of this one, but that ain't a big deal if we do. They've put new, given me some wires for this too, so. Alright, so let's see what we've got. So, they're not exactly the same, so I'm going to try and make these work. And I might have to change them up a little bit, but one thing that I do know will work is this ground wire here. So we'll go ahead and attach it. I forgot, I just wanted to gap it correctly first. And I've got the magnet portion of the ignition coil a little bit away from. So there we go. So that's going to ground out the ignition coil. And then this, I've just got to figure out how I can kind of fit it in there. I think if I just cut this little edge off right here of this wire very, very carefully, then we can make this work. So let's see. Very carefully. Worst case, we just put another wire end on it, right? It's not that big of a deal. Sometimes there's always these little bitty differences in these ignition coils. Just enough to make you have to work a little bit. I think we can make that work. There we go. I can make that work. Slide it up around there and put the little clip back in. And that should do what we need it to do. And I'll go ahead and put this back on. Put those screws back, and we'll give. All right, I thought somebody was coming up, so I apologize for that, but they were not. So I forgot I need to put the coil wire through here as well. So let's pull this back off. Put the coil wire through. I think we can get them all in there, right? Maybe the coil wire just kind of does its own thing. Because now we've got the issue of, yeah, the coil wire definitely just does its own thing. And we'll see how it goes up through there in a second. But I do need to go through like this, though. So, I'll make sure this stays plugged in. Push that down a little bit. It's like, I'm telling you, it's like literally the smallest differences on these sometimes. Okay. So, just gotta knock it down just a little bit more. There we go, so we're locked in now. So put on the top now, or the side, excuse me. Put the side on top, right? Okay, so we've got that. Before we put the top on, we'll test for spark and everything. May just pull it just to see what happens. They got two more screws hiding around here somewhere. I don't know where they went. But I'll get those screws on. And then, oh, they're still in the machine, that's why. So what we can do now, if we come over here, and this thing might actually start, so we'll keep on rolling here. So let's see, up would be on, down is off, up is on, choke, and that thing is tight. Oh, I bet I didn't gap it right. No? Oh yeah, so I didn't gap something right, of course. So which I thought I had. So let me see what I messed up on here. I thought I had it right, but I guess not. So let me open these back up. Good news is this should be a very brief, quick fix. I thought I had it right, but I guess I did not. So let's pull this back out a little bit. Wow, okay. So I was a little off there. Okay, so I got that portion of it right. So let's get the bottom portion of it right now. That was kind of crazy. A little bit too high on that side now. This is one of the hardest things to do. I'm going to try the business card approach. Sometimes this is a little hard to do, but we're going to make it work, right? Because then you got to like pull the card out and all that stuff, and it's sometimes not the prettiest. A lot of y'all are probably saying, you should have done this the first time. Well, there we go. Let's put it all back on one more time. Looks like it actually goes on this side of the muffler, which would make sense, so that it doesn't get pinched by the plastic. That's what it does. I don't do a ton of chainsaws, so this isn't an everyday for me. Alright, so can't get this thing right for some reason. There we are. I guess that's right. So it doesn't crush anything. Not really a lot of room for it to go right there. So now we should have pulling action. Can we do it in one take? Probably not. Let's see. All right, on, up. Oh. Let's check it. I got some fuel lines coming from somewhere, so I'm probably going to have to do fuel lines on it too. But that did the trick there, so. So I got fuel lines left to do on this one, which we might do in this video, we may not. I've covered it a couple of times. But you can see that it has been burning pretty extensively there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Homelite up, and we'll get that one. Alright, so of course the other one has basically the carb issues that they all have that I will have to fix at a later date. But we'll get in here, change this ignition coil out on this Homelite, which I think is a couple of quarters. But the, I mean, it runs. That Craftsman runs. It just doesn't run very well because, or doesn't run very long because of carb issues. So great, good on that part, right? So now what we have to do is get this coil wire out of this one, which might be an adventure because I don't think I've got enough room to get it through with the boot on it. This is bad anyway, so it's like, just pull it out, right? I'll pull the boot over. Again, it just sticks in there. I don't like these ignition coils, but it is what it is, I guess. The new one for this one is, not completely sure where it is. There it is. So, let's see. So that's that. The coil wire is a little on the short side, but I think we'll be able to make it work. And somehow I got to shove it through there. I'm probably just going to have to unplug it. They make these things easy to replace, but hard to replace at the same time. It's the great paradox, right? So this might be fun, but what I'm going to do is try and literally just shove it through here. I don't know how well this is going to go. Of course, I'm going to penetrate the rubber while I do it, so that's not going to be good. Alright, well, we'll do that. Pull the boot off, because that was actually a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, it'd probably be a good idea to clean all this stuff off too, wouldn't it? It is only 4 screws to do it. So, business card. Screws. And where's my ground wire at? Did I lose my ground wire? Oh, this one does not have an external ground wire, so that's okay. So, and it does go like that. So let's see, we'll go ahead and put these back in. Okay, and this thing not have a ground wire on it, or am I just crazy? Oh, the ground wire was on the, that's right. Excuse me. Ground wire's on the ignition switch here. So somehow I've got to plug that back in. I know this thing is nasty. jinx myself. Watch this thing run. That'd be something else, wouldn't it? The old Homelite runs and the cheap, or the new Craftsman won't. Alright, let me get the 8mm back here. Screw this in. I think I put gas in this already, or fuel mix. So, right there. Right there. We'll get that one started. And then there's one more that's hiding around here somewhere. Right there. Alright, so now I'll put the boot back on in this. Push it up through here. And we'll just plug it back in. I plugged it in like this. This is a heavy saw, man. Plugged it in like this so that it doesn't interfere with the muffler. So now, like I said, I don't know if I put fuel mix in this or not. Oh wow, this thing's almost full. Let me just get it on the ground here and see if it'll kick off. Be kind of cool if it did. Run. Oh boy. Oh, I did the same thing on this one. I did something, didn't gap it right. Even gapped it with the. I even gapped it with the. With the business card, but I didn't gap it in the right spot, I guess. That's the only thing I can think. So let me put this right there. Now let me go, let's go on this side here actually. Okay, that way the magnet portion of it is working. And then now we can pull this out. Alright, that's better. Let me put this back on and we'll see. Look at this. It took about 7 pulls. But runs great. Love these old Homelites. Really, really nice. So that's really good. I'm gonna take it back up here. We gotta tighten the chain and stuff on it. But I don't know how to do that on these. It's been a little while. Oh, there we go. Since I've worked on them. So it looks like there's a screw in the back here that we're going to take care of. And I need to get like 9/16 or something right there, ain't it? That's a 5/8. Holy cow. So, and then I think theoretically I should just be able to turn this screw. I am not a chainsaw expert, y'all. I love working on small engines and stuff, but chainsaws are just not my thing, but they need to be, because I'm going to be working on them. Just like this one. So I'm going to get this, guess I'll get this thing pulled out somehow. I will, might have to learn myself on the adjustments here, but I'll get back to y'all. We'll get this chain adjusted, let y'all hear it full on here in a second. So I got it all figured out. What they did is they actually put the plate on backwards. So this plate was actually on right here, and it was stopping everything from working. So now, because we need the slider portion to tighten and tension everything here, that is how it's supposed to go. So let's do this now. Gotta love it, right? Alright, so chainsaws are one of my weaknesses. I will not deny that in the least. So alright, so now that we've got that sorted, put this on, then we'll put this on. I was about to say there was something that I was missing there, and I'm like, what is this? Because the chain was way too loose for what it needed to be. So we can pull her out now, and I'm sure it should pull out a lot easier. Yes, there we go. So now we can use this. To tighten it up. That's better. I'll tighten these up a little bit. See, we're getting slightly better here. Just very slightly. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to be. I don't think there's a clutch on this thing, so it's direct. The direct drive, if I remember right. With my luck, I probably would just saw a clutch on it. Alright, I'm going to get it down and see what we got. So literally, as soon as I finished that last clip, that guy actually showed up and picked it up. So the Homelite's gone. That one was an easy fix. This one right here, I ended up having to clean the carb. I know I did not show that. Running up against time here, and didn't want to have any, or didn't want to, I guess, I don't know. I just didn't record it just because I didn't know the outcome. But the carb was a little bit dirty. At least I can show you that it runs good. put it all back together, I do need to let it run for a little while because I was told that it's been 4 to 5 years since this chainsaw has been started, and which explains why it needed fuel lines and a carb clean. So we're going to let it do its thing here. I'm going to put the top back on it, put the air filter back on it. Again, if you need to adjust stuff, the adjustments are here on the side. That Homelite didn't need a thing after I put that ignition coil in it, so that was kind of cool, almost to be expected, you know, for those machines. So these right here, if you love to work on small engines, then this is your chainsaw, because you're always constantly having to do something with these things. So let me see if I can get this all situated in here. How does this work? So we're going to get all this all situated down in here. And never the easiest to do, obviously, but we'll get it. And because I got zip ties and stuff holding up this mess so that it doesn't skim on the flywheel and stuff. So I will put this top on, and then we'll probably go ahead and finish this video up here in just a second. I just need to figure out how to put this thing on so that it doesn't pinch some wires, which is a little difficult sometimes. Alright guys, that is everything on this pair of chainsaws. The Homelite one works great. The Craftsman one, we still got to do a little bit of carb work and stuff too in order to get right. However, both of them had a no spark condition when they came in. We've got one of them back already to its owner. The old Homelite one, and then the Craftsman one is going to be getting a new carb kit in it, because I learned when he came to pick up the other one that Craftsman one ended up having sitting for like 4 or 5 years, and the machine is a 2011 model, so it's 13 years old, and all them seals and diaphragms and stuff, I'm sure from sitting up, are completely rotted out on it. So we're going to get a carb kit in it for them. I apologize for the rushed nature of this video. Had to get it out before I went on a vacation that I am just getting back from as of yesterday, and so I wanted to have y'all a video in for today, since I like to have 2 videos up every week. So we'll catch y'all on the next video. Hope y'all enjoyed this. 2 vastly different chainsaws, and lo and behold, the old Homelite one is the one to prevail on us today, although both of them did technically get fixed for the issue that they came in with. So thanks again for watching this small engine repair. We've got a lot more out in the garage that we'll be getting back to here later on this spring. We're really busy, and we'll see what everything holds as the months unfold. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.